Hello, welcome back to Unicorn Dust Designs. My name is Sammy, and on this channel we do DIYs with signs, and there's tons of laughter. Today I am collabing with Liz Moore, Decal and Decor. I will be talking about her later in the video, but for now, let's just go ahead and get into the crafting. All right, look at me all up in my garage. I have some space. All right, so we're gonna start off with this cabinet door. You can find cabinet doors on Facebook Marketplace, Habitat for Humanity, things like that are great places to find these doors. So I'm using my Skill sander. I like this one because it has a pointed top, so it really gets great into the corners, up against edges. And then I'm gonna go in with my orbital sander. And why I'm sanding this is, one, I'm getting all that debris off of there, all that old crusty stuff. And I wanna take off the first layer that is glossy on this so we have a nice smooth finish. So for those of you who have not seen me do DIYs with these cabinet doors yet, funny story, I found them on Facebook Marketplace and I contacted the gentleman. It was like $15 for free. And I was like, okay, where's pickup? And he says, oh, so-and-so funeral home. And right away I was all, what? Are these like the samples for the different caskets you offer? Like, how creepy, but you know what? It was for free. So your girl picked it up, of course. And then I get there and it turns out that he used to be a cabinet maker and then ended up taking the family business, which was the funeral home. He took it over. So it was so funny. Obviously your girl will do anything for free items, like go to a funeral home. I mean, shoot, it's okay. It's free, right? Okay, so anyways, off with that story. Now finishing this up, I'm gonna go ahead and grab some simple green. There is a lady, her name is Bree. I'm gonna link her channel up above right here in the cards. And I just found her. She does a lot of upcycling and she cleans all of her furniture pieces off with crud cutter before painting, which is what I need to do. So keep that in mind. So right here, I'm just taking a toothbrush, getting in all those nooks and crannies in this frame, making sure I get all the dirt out, and then I'm just going to wipe it off, let it dry. And then I'm in here, I am taking Rust-Oleum linen white chalk paint. I'm just getting those edges, especially the corners, because this sponge roller is amazing. It has a flat edge to it. And so it gets up really great against like the sides of things. So although it was getting good there, it wasn't getting in the corners very well. So I'm gonna go ahead and do 3 coats of this white. Y'all, for some reason I cut the second part of this frame or this video out of like me making this, which just makes me so upset. But yeah, okay, well, Sammy, let's just get on with it. Okay, I'll tell you which part I cut out. So I am doing the second and third layer on this. Now I'm gonna grab some painter's tape. And this is the part I accidentally left off. So after I apply the painter's tape to this, there's like an inside frame right here that I'm trying to tape off. And I do the baking soda with steel gray and I paint the inside frame that color because I wanted it to have a lot of texture. I wanted that concrete look. Here we go. I don't know how I cut that out of my video, but I do show you the white part. So just hang in there with me. So I got pretty clean lines here. When I took the tape off, it left some like crusties, so I just dust that off with our paintbrush. And now I'm going to just go in, gotta clean up that workspace. So now I'm gonna take the Rust-Oleum linen white, I'm gonna take the baking soda. Now the baking soda, this was my first time ever playing around with baking soda, so I don't think I added as much as I should, but I was still happy with the texture it left me. So I'm just mixing it. I did equal parts. And I like it. It came out like, it almost has like a cement texture, like a pavement texture to it. And I'm sure you get more the more you add to it. But I just went around with my brush. I applied it just like you would paint. I just smoothed it over back and forth. Now I will say, because I wasn't getting like a ton of texture that I was looking for on this, I end up, you know how on chalk paint when it's semi-dry, like it's almost to the dry point and then you go to put another coat on it and it kind of like drags up that first coat. Well, that's what I did here. I got in with a second coat, like when it was almost dry, and it started kind of like pooling it and giving it more texture. It almost looked like chipped paint almost. You can't see it in the frame, but it absolutely looks so gorgeous. So there's my hunka burning love giving me a kiss. Okay, now I made this stencil on my Cricut. Unfortunately, this is way too big. I don't know how to ship it out, or else I would add it to my Etsy shop. But I'm using Oral Mask 813 stencil vinyl. And then I'm going to go in, I'm going to tape off all my edges so we don't make any mistakes. And then, okay, well, I'll take my transfer tape off first. And then taking that same sponge roller, we are going to do 2 coats over this. Nice thin coats. Now this ended up bleeding on me a little, which I knew was going to happen because the texture of the cabinet door was not very smooth. But that's okay because I didn't want it to look polished and, you know, all fancy schmancy. I wanted it to look like it was worn and rustic. That's totally my vibe. So after 2 coats, we peel this off. This is seriously like my favorite. And I think it's just the saying. It says, our home, our life, our story, our love, our children, our dreams. This is us. And I absolutely love it. Love this. I cannot wait to put it in the home. So we're going to go ahead and weed all of those little bits and pieces out. I don't know why I keep on like with this weird accent right now. I don't know. It's not a weird accent. It's just, why am I doing it? Oh, it's probably because I was talking to Kathy Jo. Thanks, Kathy Jo. I'll leave her channel up above too and in my description box. So now I'm just taking my mini like distressing brush by Plaid, and I am distressing the edges on the outside to really bring that texture up at you. I wanted it to pop out at you, and it totally did the job. Then I am taking the white and distressing the gray a little bit. And I did that because it had so many lines in it that I really wanted to stand out. And this is how it came out. Do you see? I'm trying to. It's hard because it's so bright, but it did add this beautiful texture. I'm absolutely obsessed with it. If you can get your hands on cabinet doors, grab some because they are amazing for making signs. And I'll prop this up on our hall tree. All right, you guys, that was the first DIY, and I have to say I absolutely love that DIY. I love the saying. It's super fitting for our new home, and I cannot wait to display it out in the front room. I'm also loving the texture that baking soda and chalk paint give, even though I think I totally chickened out and needed to add more, but we'll learn as we go, right? So y'all know the drill. If you're digging me, if you're digging the channel, if you are digging the DIYs, then make sure you like, make sure you subscribe. And also, reminder, I post on Tuesdays. Thursdays, I post Dollar Tree hauls where I show you possibly what I'll be crafting with. I even link some crafts that I've already made with some of the supplies from my Dollar Tree hauls. So I do those every Thursday, and then I am back on Saturdays for more DIYs. So make sure your notification bell is set to all. And again, I am going to be talking about Liz Moore Decal and Decor right after this next DIY. So let's get back into it. Okay, y'all, this is the next one. So this is like a wooden plaque from Michael's. I had it a while back, stained it, never did anything with it. And guess what we're using? Our balls, our big giant balls. I had 5 left, and I was like, we are gonna put them to use today. If y'all don't know the funny story with these balls, we were all shook when we saw them, trust me. I will leave the video for that down in the description box. So at first I take this Territorial Beige by Apple Barrel, and I coat all of these. Then I was like, what are you doing? These are supposed to be gray. Don't know how I went from beige to gray. So then I get this, I think it's called Shipyard Gray by Arteza. And this is an outside acrylic paint. And I mentioned that because I will explain a little further down the video. So I'm gonna go ahead and paint all of these. These are these sliced wooden beads. These are way too big to be called beads, but these are actually the 2-inch ones, just so you know. So we're gonna go ahead and dry those off. Then moving over to our plaque, we are also going to be applying the gray paint because we are going to be using our crackle medium. So you do need that base. Now keep in mind when you use crackle medium, you want to use contrasting colors so you can really see that crackle come through. So that is why I am painting the base gray, because when it crackles, I want the gray to be like showing through in those cracks. So after I was done doing that, I got a little vinyl decal that said gather. I thought it just added a little something to it. Now I'm adding my folk art crackle medium. You only need a super light coat of this, and you just want to do kind of like one swipe of it. You don't want to keep going over the same spot or it gets gummy and it will not turn out well. So I go ahead and I dry this. Now I say the outdoor acrylic paint because when I put my top coat on here, which is just a white acrylic apple barrel paint, it didn't give me like the crazy crackle effect that it usually does. So I don't know if the outdoor acrylic paint had something to do with it, but it still worked. You can see the crackle already coming through right here. And this was my first time also using a decal with the crackle. So I was really happy with it still. Make sure you go over one time with your brush. Again, you don't want to keep going over the same spot because it'll pull up that crackle and it'll look so grody, okay? So after that is all dry, I am going to weed out that decal. It looks so cute. It was just like that little baby touch, you know? And then I did put the crackle medium on the legs too. Granted, I know the legs aren't probably going to show, but that is the difference between project and this is a finished product. Like I want to look at it and think, you know what, if somebody looked at this, they would think I bought it at a store because it is so finished. That's why I do it. Okay. Ooh, look at that crackle, crackle, crackle. Now you can spray this with like a clear, you could put polyacrylic on it. I did end up spraying it with a clear after this, and it's not in the video. Okay, so now I'm applying super glue and hot glue. Now one of my subscribers, she said her husband was an engineer and said if you apply super glue and then put hot glue over it, it counteracts it so it doesn't actually even work, which I thought was interesting. So for this one, I am trying to make sure that I put the super glue in the middle, hot glue on the outside. Of course, Hank had to say hi to mommy, leave a bunch of fur on my leggings. Yeah. All right, so we finished that up and we're all done. And look at how beautiful this tray turned out. I love the crackle effect. I love just that little gather. It's simple. I think it's beautiful. I like how big it is. And then see the little baby legs. I love it. All right, you guys, Liz Moore Decal and Decor. Y'all need to go check her out. I'm going to leave her link for her channel and today's video down in my description box. This girl kills it with Farmhouse DIYs, like kills it. I have to say, her DIYs, she's so creative. She's such a sweetheart. I know you guys will absolutely enjoy her channel. So please make sure to go head down to the description box and check her out. I never steer you guys in the wrong direction when it comes to my DIYers. Okay, next one. I love this one. So this is a Home Sweet Home sign from Dollar Tree. We're gonna go ahead and take this baby apart, set that to the side. Now this is the bath mat. You guys better be watching my Dollar Tree hauls because I show you what I'm gonna be using. So with this, I am just cutting it to size, cut it a little too big, and we need it to fit in this frame. So I keep referencing and then going back and cutting a little bit more. Now I accidentally cut too much off here. So there is like a big gap. You'll see I like try to fit it into the frame once more. And this is super easy to cut, like way easy. And y'all, I'll tell you right now, I'm going to be using this on a lot of DIYs. So pick some up. All right. So then I try to hot glue it in the suction cup part and I'm like, girl, this ain't even going to reach. So then I realized I have to go in between the suction cups and hot glue on those little rounds. Then I get smarter and do strips of it, just going all the way down. Works like a charm. This is when I realize I have a big gap. But you know what? You got to get your creative mind going. And I was like, all right, I'm just gonna cut another piece off. I'm gonna hot glue it. I'll kind of cut the excess. So I do that. I don't show you all that because it took me some time to figure it out, you know? All right, now taking our, I think this one is just White by Waverly. I am coating this up. Y'all see, do you see all of that dimension it adds to this sign? Like, blown away, absolutely love it. Now I'm taking my steel gray and my distressing brush and I'm distressing it. And let me tell you guys, if you don't like distressing, don't do it. This is just for inspiration. Keep it clean, keep it simple. Like, that is totally up to you. Remember, it's all about the bones of these DIYs. Be creative and make it your own. Make it fit your decor style in your home. This is just my preference. This is how I decorate my home. And to be honest, I spend money on this, so I want it to fit my home and what I like. All right, you guys. So of course I cover the back like I usually do with our shipping paper, nice and clean back. That's, oh, I love that. I love it. Makes me so happy. All right. And then you guys, for the frame, I put 2 coats of the steel gray on. So right here, I am taking this. One of my subscribers, Kelly, sent me these, and I don't know if they're quite coasters or just wood cutouts, but they're the thinner wood. I'm gonna stain it, distress it white, and then I got this off Cricut. It's one of in their design access. I'm gonna go ahead and put that, oh, well, let's dry the paint first, ladies, so your vinyl sticks. And this came out like, I don't know. All of these, I really, really am proud of all of these. So now I'm going to just stress our frame. I want to, nobody out there in the YouTube world better copy me. I'm totally kidding. I was just going to say that I can't wait to make this on a bigger, like a bigger version of this. So then I'm just hot gluing the little plaque on there, and look at how beautiful this is. That dimension that the floor mat like adds to this is just everything. I am obsessed with it, and I cannot wait to make a bigger, bolder version of it. Oh, I hope you guys love that as much as I do. Okay, these cathedral windows. So these are the new ones from Dollar Tree. Now, as I'm looking at the back, I noticed there's 3 screws on the back, and I'm like, ooh, girl, let's take this apart. And guess what? You get to use that black piece for something else, right? So I take the signs off, which actually pop off super easy. And then right here, I'm just heating up the hot glue so I don't have like a big bump on the front. I'm gonna repeat this step by taking the signs off of the front for all of the other 3. We're gonna be using 4 total in today's DIY project. Now, we have seen this being done with the garden fences. And I thought, you know what, this would be nice. It's a lot more sturdy, it's thicker, and it just looks a little bit more polished. So I was like, I'm gonna try my hand at it using these. So you guys, I am using that same mixture of the baking soda and our steel chalk paint. And right here, I am painting it. Oh, gosh, of course I'm painting it. I'm getting in all the, I'm gonna say nooks and crannies a lot, aren't I? Okay, so anyways, we're gonna paint this whole thing. Now, I get smarter. I always have to try the first time and then buy the second one. So paint all around your edges first, okay? It just helps. And then you are going to get the top, leave the middle blank so you have something to hold down, you know? And I'm really just like stippling this on. I'm not brushing it on. I'm really like pouncing it. That way I get a little bit more texture out of it. And that seems to really help. And it was easier getting in like, you know, the holes of this cathedral window. So we're going to repeat this painting process for the other 2. Then I get our white chalk paint and I just do some dry brushing, really trying to bring out those windows. Excuse me. And I love the texture that the baking soda gives us. It really makes these look like cement cathedral windows, which I love. Now, I will say, I wish I would have taken all of these out before starting this project and getting a matte gray spray paint and spray painting the insides of them, because I totally forgot to do that. and I was regretting it as I was putting it together. So we are going to go ahead and do the same thing for the other 3 remaining ones. I try to focus a lot of the dry brushing inside the windows so that you almost get like a shadow effect from it. Now, taking one of the paper signs that we took off of the cathedral windows, I paint the back because it was still in really good condition. I tried painting over the letters, but oh my gosh, it was just not covering up at all. So I chose to use the back. Then taking these rub-on transfers from Dollar Tree, I tried a couple different things. I even tried, do I want to put like wording on it or anything? And nothing was coming to mind. So I ended up just sticking with the simplicity of this with the leaves on it. So add your own thing, and I could always come back and add it later. All right, so since we took the black part off, we need something to be able to hold these together. Now, if you leave the black part on, it's gonna be a lot easier for you. But for me, I wanted to take advantage of those other pieces. So taking the wooden dowels, I'm just hot gluing them. I cut them down to size, then I hot glue them, and I'm hot gluing them to almost like the edge of this piece. So the inside the edge, so it sits flush, because you don't want it falling in there. I hope this is, I hope I'm explaining this well. So then I cut some more down to size. Now you're gonna have to put these wooden dowels in 2 out of 4 of the ones that you are doing, okay? And you will see why. This is gonna give us a base to attach our little windows to. So as you can see right here, I'm gonna put hot glue on these wooden dowels, and that is what is gonna connect to the other one. So we're gonna go ahead and repeat that again. And this is when I realized, oh, crapola, you didn't paint the insides of them. All right, here we go. Attach those to the wooden dowel. And then the other one, which is laying down right now, that's the other one that will have wooden dowels in it. So as I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh, girl, you messed up. You should have painted the inside. But I just do like a quick kind of brush on like at least the top pieces, because I knew I was going to add a lot of greenery to it, so it wouldn't be like, oh my gosh. But so here we go. I put more wooden dowels in that one, and we are all done with this. I like the thickness of, I'm adding white to the outside edges because I didn't do that when I was painting the first time. So this is how it came out. I love how bold it is. I like the thicker windows on this. And if you can see this in person, the cement look that it has is so amazing. It looks very old, and I don't know, like it has a story to it. I love it. I hope you guys enjoyed these videos, and remember to like, subscribe, and here's Hank.
Why are you so handsome, my Hanky? Oh, that does it. Why? That doesn't mean. Oh, stop following me. Stop following me. What? And then there's beautiful Momo.
Oh, girl, you're gonna have like 3 videos because you keep stopping. Get your life together. You can't even clean up your craft space from the night before yet. You want to get your life together. So paint down here. Girlfriend. Okay. Second intro. Second intro. If I got to have free Botox anywhere on my face, where would it be? Right here, for sure. Without, like... Oh, that'd be scary. Let's not do that. But this part right here. No, we'll leave it. Leave your face alone. Okay. Let's get into it. That's not a song. I always do that. Ooh. No, your head's cool. Your head's in there.